The arts and the inventions, the knowledge and the books, which suddenly became vital at the Renaissance, had long been neglected on the shores of the Dead Sea, which we call the Middle Ages. Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel, and I am Mehreen. Today in this video we are going to talk about Renaissance. I will try to cover every aspect of Renaissance so that you may have a plentiful knowledge. The original meaning of the Italian Rinascimento, for those who actually took part in it, was rebirth of classical Greek and Latin literature. The term is commonly applied to the historical period which follows the Middle Ages. But when the Middle Ages ended and when the Renaissance began has been a source of much debate. A long accepted view was that the Renaissance began in the later half of the 14th century and that it continued throughout the 15th and 16th century and perhaps even later. In order to make the issues more manageable, historians have identified periods within the period, hence early, middle, high and late Renaissance. In the course of the time, a variety of misconceptions about the Middle Ages, as opposed to Renaissance, developed. These became particularly apparent in the 19th century when among some there evolved an image of the Middle Ages as being ignorant, narrow, priest-ridden, backward, superstitious, uncultured and inhibited by the dogmatic theology. By contrast, the Renaissance was extolled as learned, civilized, broad-minded, progressive, enlightened, and free-thinking. The derogatory view of Middle Ages was encouraged by many writers. Nor have the terms medieval and Middle Ages by any means lost their connotations. People still use them to suggest the backward and the primitive. The Renaissance was a cultural and intellectual movement that took place in Europe between 14th and 17th century, roughly from the 1300 to the 1600s. It was a time of great transformation, marked by a revival of classical Greek and Roman knowledge, art, literature, and philosophy. The Renaissance had a profound impact on various aspects of life, including art, literature, science, philosophy, politics, economy, and society. The Renaissance saw a significant transformation in the art world, characterized by humanism, realism, classical influence, and innovative techniques. Artists began to focus on the human form. Depicting it in the more realistic and natural way. Artists used techniques like perspective, anatomy, and sfumato to create more realistic and lifelike representations. They drew inspirations from classical Greek and art, which belonged to Romans, incorporating elements like columns, arches, and domes into their works. They experimented with new techniques such as oil painting, fresco, and sculpture. Now let's talk about some of the notable artists of the Renaissance. Leonardo da Vinci, a polymath who excels in painting, sculpture, architecture, engineering, and science. Michelangelo, a sculptor, painter, architect, and poet who created iconic works like the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Raphael, a painter and architect who was known for his harmonious and balanced compositions. If we talk about the literary Renaissance, the Renaissance saw a resurgence of interest in classical literature as the emergence of new literary forms. Writers drew inspirations from classical Greek and Roman literature, incorporating elements like mythology and rhetorical devices. Writers explored themes related to human nature, morality, and the human condition. They also experimented with new forms such as the sonnets, the novel, and the play. William Shakespeare is one of them, who was a playwright and poet who wrote iconic works like Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet. Renaissance is not only included in art and literature, it also had a great impact on navigation. The world was expanding, the people were exploring new worlds, and they came to know that the world is far more than their imagination. Vasco da Gama and Marco Polo made new discoveries. It expanded the vision of people and the outlook of the people. It expanded the vision and outlook of the people. Scientists began to rely on observation, experimentation, and empirical evidence to support their theories. They made groundbreaking discoveries in the fields like astronomy, anatomy, and physics. Scientists challenged traditional authority and dogma, paving the way for new ideas and perspectives. For example, Galileo Galilei, who was an astronomer and physicist who challenged the geocentric model of the universe. Now, if we are talking about the scientists, the artists, and the playwrights, then why not the philosophers? They were also running in this race. Philosophers drew inspirations from the classical Greek and Roman philosophy too, incorporating elements. Philosophers developed new perspectives in topics like ethics, politics, and metaphysics. Machiavelli, Erasmus, and Montaigne, they are the notable philosophers of the Renaissance. There was also a rise of nation states. European nation states like Italy, France, and England began to consolidate power and assert their independence. The Renaissance saw the emergence of new forms of governance, such as the principality and republic. The Renaissance was marked by power struggles between monarchs, nobles, and city states. If you talk about the economic renaissance, the economic positions of the different countries are also advanced. The Renaissance saw an increase in trade and commerce too. Obviously, when there is a vast navigation series, then why not the trade and commerce? Again, broadly speaking, it may be suggested that a survey of such achievements Again, broadly speaking, it may be suggested that a survey of the achievements of painters, writers, sculptors, and architects, not to mention scientists, philosophers, and astronomers, between say 1200 and 1600 reveals almost continuous creative and intellectual activity of an excellence which may never be equaled. To catalog the names is to intone a litany of geniuses. Among writers, those invariably mentioned are Dante, Petrarch, Boccaccio, and Machiavelli in Italy, Erasmus in the Netherlands, Montaigne in France, Lope de Vega and Cervantes in Spain, Sir Thomas More, Sir Thomas Wyat, Edmund Spenser, Sir Philip Sidney, Shakespeare, and Sir Francis Bacon in England. I hope this video would have been quite helpful for you, because I have tried to make this video very simple for you so that you may understand Renaissance in a fuller sense. In the next video, we are going to talk about the Shakespearean age, which is also a sub age of Renaissance. Till then, keep sharing my channel, keep watching my videos, and keep subscribing to my channel. And once again, thanks for being with Mehreen for such a long time.